Okay, so I believe we are live now here on LinkedIn, on also on YouTube. So I just want before we start, so just for you to know, I'm using here the cloud that I became a big fan, and I will be recording this, and I will send the AI summary to all of you after we finish this event. Okay. Hello, my friend. How are you, Antonio?
Very good, Ricardo. 1 month more, and here, happy to be with you and everyone on the
Yeah,
call.
it's just insane how the time is flying, and also insane how things are happening, right? We have these crazy blackouts a few days ago, and people just got really crazy, really. I was not here, I was in Brazil, but now I'm back in Lisbon, but it was crazy. You were in Madrid at that time, right?
I was in Madrid, and I've never experienced this in my life, where you are isolated from everything. It was like being in an island, no internet, no news, because when you don't have access to phones or WhatsApp or internet, or everything was down. And it was a bit fun at the beginning. People took it with, but then we were getting into the night and nothing was. Some people take it like this is the end of the world, it's a war, and some other more relaxed. But I never thought we are so dependent on electricity and power. So it's something that we need to be aware that this might happen again. And yeah, it's a lesson learned to be prepared just in case.
Yeah, you know what I did?
Crazy.
I was not here, but I bought this radio with a swivel. I bought a battery.
Yeah,
A
generator.
1,200 watts battery
Yeah.
that generate some I would say some support, because I have a backup here. I have a backup power in my apartment for this. For example, if something happens now, I can continue for about 1 hour, but not for 9 hours, right? Not for nine
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's our dependency, and probably, I don't know, maybe AI will be like that in the future. People will say, "Oh, my ChatGPT is off. I cannot work today because I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
I don't
So
know how to write anymore." Yeah, I'm just making some fun. So look,
thinking about it, yeah.
hi everyone. So it's a real pleasure to see all the names here. I see so many friends joining us for these months. So Antonio, let's kick off, and please, for those on Zoom, okay, please submit your questions to the Q&A. Okay, we'll be happy to share our opinion and our views on that. So I want to start here, Antonio, just sharing some very nice news, and even Antonio saw this only this morning. We reached 325 certifications, so we are extremely happy, and things are moving in an incredible pace. And what is the most nice and relevant on that, it's the number of companies joining us. It was really a surprise for us that people from Amazon, AWS, are with us. We had last week, Antonio, our first corporate masterclass in AIPM with GSK Global. Right, Antonio? It was very, very nice. We are super happy with that. So we have really a nice, and we are super happy, and it's a surprise for us to see that. And Antonio, now let's start with some nice announcements, right? So I want to give the floor to you, Antonio, and I will bring Helen also to
sure.
the.
So one of the strategies that we defined, Ricardo and I, at the beginning of the year, so 4 months ago, was we need to leverage so that we can reach more people, more people can be trained, more people can access this network, the credential can get more visibility. So we've been listening and searching good partners, strong partners, that can deliver with the same level of quality. Not just the quality, the passion is so important for Ricardo and me, and that continuous learning and continuous improving the content. And we thanks to Helen and from Provec, Helen Grindley and Glenn Suti, they reach out to us. They're part of the APMG network, and we had really good discussions, very fast. That's like how we like to work, fast and moving forward with the decisions. And so today is the first day that we announced our first partner. They're based in the UK, but they operate further than the UK. They have really strong track record. We had the train the trainer session, and it's great because the people that we were discussing and sharing the knowledge, they just embrace it. They had their own ideas, excited too, and they see the potential. And I think that's a moment for celebration. We go so fast that we don't have time to celebrate, right, Ricardo? 3:20.
And
So
what?
yeah.
I'm bringing Helen here to be a panelist with us. Hi, Helen. How are you?
Hi, Ricardo. Hi, Antonio. I'm great.
Yeah.
Really excited today. We're all really excited.
We're super excited. So first, thank you very much. And one of the things, just to add what Antonio said, it's for us. We started, we both, and we don't have arms, anymore, I would say, to fulfill everything. So the decision on the ATO, it's really to give this global perception of the credential, so to increase, because we are unable to do. And what is interesting is that Helen jumped in, they reach out to us, Antonio handled, and it was very fast, and you are already active with starting the first classes in the UK. So we just want to hear from you.
Yes.
What is in your mind, and what is your plan to grow that?
So firstly, I passed my exam. You should be able to see my little badge there.
Oh, that's good. So it's now we have one more.
Yeah.
Now we have one more.
So you can add one more to that number. Yeah, so we are a specialist project management training provider in the UK. So all of our trainers are all experienced project managers. So they're not just trainers. They've lived and breathed project management. They've worked as program directors, portfolio directors. So now we're all sort of giving back and training. I am interested in AI anyway. My background is IT project management. So I found the course, did the course, and absolutely loved it. It completely blew my mind. We're using AI every day now at Provec. So we contacted Antonio and said, look, we'd love to deliver this. I think we have the same sort of value. So it's all about quality for us. Giving people a quality experience and, aligning with you. And we've posted it on LinkedIn today. We've had loads of interest already. So we're really looking forward. Our first course is 27th and 28th of May. And then we're going to try and do 2 courses a month so we can take the pressure off you a bit, but still hopefully deliver to the same quality.
For sure.
We just for you to share with you in the first hand, we really are aiming. We don't know if it will be possible. Okay, of course, we have many challenges to make this happen, but to reach the end of the year with 1,000 people certified. Okay, and this will be just impossible with Antonio and myself alone. Yeah. So this is the idea to do that. But Helen, thank you very much. So I saw your post. I didn't post it yet because we wanted just to announce this officially. At this moment. So thank you very, very much first for your trust, okay, and your partnership on that.
Yeah, we're so excited, and it's been great working with both of you. We loved the train the trainer session that we all went through. It was great. We all had to sort of calm down afterwards because it was so exciting, all of these things. And we're using them. I think a lot of people are talking about AI and in project management, but actually to see it in action and to understand more and to understand the basic concepts, it's brilliant. And we've got loads of clients who are so interested. It's all the talk of everybody at the moment. So yeah,
Helen,
so we're
I
really
wanted to
excited to
ask
get
you,
going. Yes.
on that respect, because we have many people on the call who are working for companies, and what's your perception? Are companies, learning and development, HR, even leadership, thinking about this, seeing this as a competitive advantage? People need to get these skills, or it's still like a buzzword, and it's more a wait and see? What you have so many corporate clients, small, medium size. And you have the contact with the learning people. So what's your view that you want to share with our community?
I think there's a little bit of excitement, but there's also a bit of fear. And I think people don't actually know what it's capable of yet. So I was talking to a client yesterday, and they were like, everyone's talking about it. How do we actually use these tools, and what tools should we be using? Yeah. So I said, well, we've got a course, come on our course and we'll, on our masterclass, and we'll show you. So I think people are a little bit anxious about it. IT people, generally, IT teams will start using it, but wider across the corporation, not so much in the UK yet with our clients.
Yeah, that's perfect. When you say about tools, everybody wants to know about tools, and it's just insane to keep track of everything. I'm now. I will show some in a minute, but it's just changing as we speak, right? It changes as we speak. So thank you very much, Helen. Okay, for your participation. Okay, and thank you for your. And look, we will have others being announced very soon in other parts of the world. So just stay tuned on this topic. Thank you very much, Helen.
Okay, thanks very much. Thanks.
I will put your LinkedIn on the chat so people can connect with you. And if they have any question, if you are in the UK or nearby, just reach out to Helen. I'll put the LinkedIn there.
Brilliant. Thanks both.
Thank you, Helen. We'll speak soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Nice, very good. Nice. I'm glad she could make it today.
Yeah. So Antonio, let me just go here quick. So what we did also with APMG, we signed an agreement with them. So we finally got some special price here starting this month. So I just shared this morning this with Antonio. So I want just to share quickly with you before I turn to Antonio. So I just want to say, so now we got the special coupon called Disruption, and this will allow you to have 100 off on the masterclass that happens in July, our open masterclass. Also on the certification. So this was a very, very hard work with them to get that. So for this month, and also for the bundle. So all the three of them are with special price, and the bundle with 150 with the code Disruption, and it's active now. So we activated it 1 hour ago. So feel free to join that. And Antonio, my friend, talk a little bit to us what is in your radar.
Okay, yeah, I didn't have much to prepare. I'm very busy with finishing the next HBR book, but I have two things. More than tools, I want to share more thoughts that came across with the research that I've been doing for this new book, and make me think a lot about our profession. And so the first one was, we all have the perception that AI will disrupt repetitive tasks and so on. But when I read this quote from the CEO of IBM, and he was kind of saying what you read here, today AI solutions are being deployed across companies to help tackle the kind of tasks most people find repetitive, which frees up employee to take on higher value work. That is great. Okay, that's what. But then he knows that one of his HR functions had gone from 700 people to 50. And HR is not, there's some repetitive, but it's not precisely the one that I would think is the most repetitive, like operations, logistics, warehousing. So I think the AI will probably be able to do more than what we think originally. And this is a proof where you can just reduce your people working on one function so drastically. This has never been before the case. And the point that I'm trying to make when I write in my book is the better companies will not get rid of these people. So if you save 650 people, the better companies will reskill those people and they will make them available for other parts of the business. The business will keep changing and growing. And most of these people will end up doing change initiatives and projects and transformation. So I think we will start hearing more and more companies laying off 10, 20% of their staff thanks to AI. I think the better companies will be those that reskill their people and they give them the opportunities to work in other spaces. So it's something that is going to happen. I started to hear that. You might hear that in your company. I think this is where we just need to be saying that our skills we're learning, project management are critical skills, and we just need to keep developing and using the technology in our advantage. So we mentioned in a couple of times in our webinar, Ricardo, you remember there is a sense of urgency here, and we tend to be very relaxed in project management, right? So we never feel that sense of urgency. We'll say tomorrow, in 6 months. I don't think we have that much time to embrace these new technologies that in our day-to-day. So I really want to urge everybody to keep learning. I think most of you have gone through the master class, but keep learning. Besides our webinars, there's lots of newsletters that we receive. The other point what I found interesting in my research was this CEO of Shopify, and they have put a very strong rule, says we don't hire anyone more in this company unless you can prove that what that person will be doing cannot be done by AI. So this is something that made me think, should we do the same for our projects and transformation? Should we start from a blank paper and say, when I start a project is, what can I do with AI from my usual scoping and planning and WBS? Or I think this was starting to make sense. The more I thought, the more I see the benefit for us in projects to say, okay, this is the new approach. If we can do something with the tools that we've learned in the masterclass, we'll do it. And I think that's something that Ricardo and I have an idea to help you more than just the masterclass. But I think this is another area, Ricardo, where I think we need to embed these practices in our project management handbooks and ways of working. Is can we do this new task with the AI? Can we, when we kick off a project, count with AI as an addition, as a tool, as something that can enable our work? Don't do it later. Don't do it just occasionally. Just put it at the core of your project management, and that will make a difference. The tools will keep evolving, but if you and we all embed this thinking of, hey, straightforward kickoff project transformation, what can we do with AI right now? And maybe 30%, maybe it's 40%, you're saving money for your company. You will able to get resources, maybe pay better, a few resources that can deliver the transformation faster. So another of these kind of key messages that make me think is embed this, create this habit where you continue learning, but you start embedding this in your normal life of your projects, and have discussions with the sponsor, have discussions with your project team, with your key stakeholders. Listen, that part we can do with AI. It should be on a weekly basis part of the dialogue, and that will really make you stand ahead of the other colleagues. Really, when you embed AI first, they call it AI first practices. So just these two thoughts. I know, Ricardo, you'll talk more about tools, but yeah, I just keep thinking about this sense of urgency and that embedding of AI in my projects on a regular basis.
Yeah, Antonio, I cannot agree more with what you were saying. And for me, what is truly impressive is the pace of change. And the
Yeah.
pace of change is not just on the workforce, but it's also on technology and how it's creating, I would say, a dependency that is very, I would say, challenging for most of us to adapt to. I want just to take a couple of questions here because some of them are very related to this before I go and share what is in my radar. Mario, great to hear from you. And Mario said, how do PM adopt risk management mitigations on the blackout, for example, that we had in the Iberian Peninsula? Due to energy, AGI, and this. And I think, Mario, it's becoming critical because our reliance on technology, our reliance on computers, it's evident because, as Antonio said, we lost connection to absolutely everything. And why?
Every-
It's just because we are hyper connected. And honestly, Mario, I don't know the answer because I think that we are becoming more and more and more dependent on AI, on computers, on these type of things. And it's something that we need to start creating mitigation plans. And honestly, just to share with you, when I saw all that I would say the mass during that day, I started thinking immediately, okay, what I can do to, I would say, to prepare myself. And I said, I just bought something like 30 euros, something like that. That is a radio with these because at least you get connected to something to hear the news if you have a blackout or some type of power supply in this. For example, for me here, it's something that I work a lot at home, so it's imperative. And honestly, Mario, I will not be surprised if in 3 years people will get crazy because ChatGPT is offline 9 hours and then people cannot work anymore because they just need ChatGPT for pretty much everything in the work. Honestly, I would not be surprised if this becomes a factor. Okay, so just on my feeling, but thank you very much for your question on that. So let me go on what is in my radar now. So let me just put my screen here. So first, I want to share with you one thing that is coming to my attention. I will record my next week podcast exactly about the 2025 AI Index report. So Stanford University released this report every year, and this report is like a guideline on what is happening, and they do this in a way that is a little bit more free of bias. It means that they are not just trying to make public, but they are presenting some of the challenges. And I want just to highlight because I'm pretty sure that people will not be too patient to read the full report. So I want just to share with you some of their key finds and just promote some discussions on that. So first, AI performance on demanding benchmarks continues to improve. It means that AI performance is improving, and it's not just AI tools. I'm talking about the foundation models are improving even on very demanding benchmarks. So we should see these, I would say, ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude becoming better and better and better. The second thing that is absolutely what I just said, AI is becoming part of everyday life. Just for you to have an idea, let me show you everyday life here. So I need to change my glasses, and I have two prescriptions of lenses to drive. So what I did, I put the two of them because they are slight different, and I asked ChatGPT which of the prescriptions I should follow, or it doesn't matter. So it's everyday life. It's not just about very complex things, but it's something that is a tool to help you on your daily task. The third one is business is all in on AI. It means there is a very big, huge amount of money being spent on AI. So, and research from them, it's showing a dramatic impact on productivity, okay? Means people doing more, people having more sharp results by using AI. And this goes exactly to what Antonio just mentioned on that. The number four, and this is something that is bringing me a lot of attention. Of course, the US is still leading the production of top AI models, but China is closing the performance gap. It means that, for example, DeepSeek just released a new version that is incredibly good. It's incredibly good. It means that we don't know yet, but there is a chance that at the end, pretty much all these foundation models, these large language models like ChatGPT and Gemini, they will become so good and so close that we will pretty much not see too much difference between them. Okay, of course, they will never say that, but I believe this is what the report is sharing to us. The next one is, and this is something that is something that all of you that watched the masterclass and spoke to me, they know that this is something very, very important for me. It's how we can do this in a responsible way. And what is happening, it's all these responsible AI ecosystem is evolving, but not in I would say in a consistent way. And I want to challenge you, if you have some time this weekend, just do one thing. Ask the main tools to create an image, okay, a real image about a big personality that you want in doing something that is, I would say, not right, okay, not right. And ask different tools the same prompt about, I'm just giving you an idea. Oh, someone, driving under influence, okay, and someone very important, very popular, and see if they will restrict you from creating this image or not. Try to use Grok, try to use Gemini, Claude, and this, and you will see that the results are not linear, okay? Are not linear. I showed this on the last masterclass, and you will see that you can do much more, I would say, borderline things with some tools than other tools. This is what the report is saying. And this is something that is very complex because, at some point we can, I would say, create things that we don't want to create just because I would say this AI responsibility behavior is not there, okay? So this is something that the report highlighted a lot. 6, global AI optimism is rising. It means that, look, AI is not something that is brand new, right? We are talking about, November of 2022 when ChatGPT, took the market by storm. And there is a very big optimism after 2 years of that. Of course, there is a deep regional divide. For example, if you saw today the big fight between the NVIDIA CEO and the CEO of Anthropic talking about the ships to China, and there was a very big polemic on that this morning. It means that even the top dogs, the top leaders in this field are not aligned in the same way. So NVIDIA has a very different opinion from Anthropic, that is the owner of Claude. And this was in all the news. I will not give you details. You just go on the news and you will see today how strong was the fight between them on the exports and competition and this. Of course, number 7, AI becomes more efficient, affordable, and accessible. And this report is giving me a hint that I highlighted to some of my clients last week is that the cost of using AI will reduce, and it's becoming more affordable and will become cheaper. Okay, for example, this plan of ChatGPT that costs 200 will reduce at some point. Okay, at some point, so it will become not only more efficient but far more accessible to all of us. Okay. The number 8, governments are stepping up on AI with regulation and investment. So several governments, we see a big movement now in Europe on that. Of course, US is moving. Several countries are trying to step up because they all knew that AI is here to stay. Okay. AI in education, despite of a massive polemic on that, okay, is expanding dramatically. You saw last month when I saw that Claude for education, so ChatGPT for education. So people are starting to use AI in a very powerful way in education. But of course, gaps in access because of cost and readiness exist. They exist because, for example, the way you teach students with the use of AI is completely different. So people are pretty much doing a lot of work on AI because the model, the education model is still old, okay? Is still old. So sometimes we need to put a blank piece of paper and try to redefine that. Industry, okay, is racing ahead in AI more than universities. That is the traditional, I would say, research. But the frontier is tightening, okay? Several universities are trying to produce. Stanford did research recently proving that you can train large language models spending only $50, okay? This was a very powerful article released recently. So industry and companies like Google are still on the lead, but you know, in universities are coming on that. AI earns top honors. This is one thing that I said. So Nobel Prize, 2 Nobel Prize last year were for AI discovery. So people are really considering. So what do I want to mean by all of this is that you all saw that it's not fading. You know, we all talk about this hype cycle of Gartner, and people say, oh, AI is in the hype now and it will go down. Okay, but I think that AI it's such a radical transformation we are seeing that is really flipping the way we are doing, because most of the companies are concentrating a massive amount of effort to catch up on AI because they know that it will be very hard to survive and thrive if they are not ready for that. And my second, it was 3 days ago. And just out of curiosity, I was given a lecture. And the lecture was in 2 days last week, okay? Not last week, sorry, Monday and Tuesday. And then Monday, I did a demo on NotebookLM for a specific thing. And I told them, look, the audio is always in English because Google is not able to do that if it's not in English. And then the next day, NotebookLM Google announced that NotebookLM is available in 50 languages. And what I did, I will show you a quick demo, okay? But a lightning demo I want to show to you. So this is my NotebookLM, okay? You can see here my screen. So let me just go back to my main page, okay? So here, of course, I have, for example, the audio you will hear here, okay? For example, I took a portfolio of 15 projects and I want a summary in terms of AI, and look what they did.
Like actually sat down and thought about how many projects a company might be juggling at once? It's got to be a ton, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's a constant stream.
So this is not new. This was in English, despite that the text is in Portuguese, okay? Because the audio. But now look what I did, because I was preparing myself for the podcast. So what I did, I took the Stanford AI Index report, this report I just showed to you, and look, I asked it to summarize it in Portuguese. And look now, I have a 5-minute podcast and audio overview of the report in Portuguese.
Bem-vindos. Hoje a gente mergulha nos achados do AI Index 2020.
So this is just, of course, for those who speak Portuguese, you will see. And what I will do, just for you to know, let me do one thing that is even better. So I'm posting to all of you here on the chat the link for this file. Okay, so you will see what I did now. And how do you do that? If you want now, if you're using NotebookLM and you want to learn how to do that now, you just come here on settings and output language. And when you click here, I put output language in Portuguese from Brazil, but I can open here and put in Spanish, Deutsch, and okay, 50 different languages here. And this is something amazing for us in terms of projects if we are doing, I would say, projects in different locations or even to study. So this is something that really amazed me. And what amazed me most was what happened with me. One day it was unable, and the next day it was able. And maybe tomorrow, you know, something different you will be able to do. And my suggestion to you working on projects, if you are working on defining scope and working on risks or trying to work with suppliers and contracts, NotebookLM has been an incredible and very organized way for me to think about an idea, not to summarize, but to ask questions, to collect notes, to have the audio. For example, I put this audio on my phone, and for example, when I'm running, I can listen, so I can have a summary of some of the thoughts. And I will prepare something I will try to do next week, thinking about the PMBOK, the process flow and the PMBOK, and trying to do something around a NotebookLM in different languages for that. So this is something that I really want to show you on this radar. The other thing I want to show you, and this was very, very concerning. Microsoft did a podcast and an article talking about cybercrime using AI. So this is something that is disrupting massively, and not only, please be mindful, not only in terms of fraud for getting your credit card or your personal info, but Microsoft raised an alert of people applying for jobs and doing interview with AI. Let me explain to you this, because it's so crazy. Imagine you need to hire someone to work with you in a project, and then you do a LinkedIn post offering a job and this, and then you receive a CV, you receive a LinkedIn, and then you go to the interview process, for example, and let's suppose this work is remote, so you will not meet the person. Then this person creates a different image. It may look like me, it may look like anyone, it can simulate a different voice and be interviewed by you, but you are not interviewing a human. You are interviewing an avatar. And then this person may get the job, and this person may be in a completely different place. And this, so it's really very, very concerning. And on the other side, for example, it's happening too. For example, you want to do for example, applied for a job, but this job is a scam. It does not exist. But with AI, I can make it look so real because I can create using Lovable, as I showed last month. You can create a website and everything that is so well produced that you can think that is a job in a top company, but it's not. It's just a way of scamming you or trying to get information from you or getting, I would say, a benefit from you. And this, it's something that it's deeply concerning. For example, in the project environment, think about that. Cyber criminals can sell you services to your project, can sell you products, can sell you pretty much everything. For example, I saw a fraud in Brazil last week trying to sell Starlink to connect to the internet via satellite with a promotion and the website and the connection and even the chat button is perfect. You can talk on the chat with someone that tries to simulate as a Starlink employee. And this was last week. And with the production and so something to be very mindful. And something that happened yesterday. And this I'm still testing. I hope I can do a video, but yesterday they did that. Claude can now connect to pretty much everything. Yesterday, the new release of Claude, you can connect to Google, you can connect to your Google Calendar, you can connect with different services like Zapier. And then you can ask Claude to say, please book for me a meeting with my team members, find a place and everything. So what will happen? Claude will go on your calendar, book the calendar, send an invitation email to everybody. So it seems that these large language models are gaining an additional layer of AI agents. And this is happening very, very fast. And you can do it today. I'm unable to do the demo because yesterday I was on a plane pretty much the full day, but I'm planning to try to use this. But I really suggest you go to Claude. You don't need to have a paid account and check things you can do connecting with different tools, because I think this is the next frontier. Okay, this is the next frontier. And before I go to some of the questions, I just want to share with you, Microsoft 3 weeks ago decided to put my courses on AI on LinkedIn for free for everybody up to the mid of this year. So this course on AI agents is something that for me, I want just to invite you to do, and I will do. I think mid next week to the end of next week, I will do an off hours with LinkedIn and Microsoft, just talking about the course and mainly talking about these new trends like the one I said on Claude. Okay, so just for you to let you know. So it's a lot happening, a lot going on. There is also Manus AI, that is a Chinese AI agent that I'm also studying. I didn't want to present because I'm not fully ready yet to share this with you, but there is a lot of things going on this field. Antonio, let me bring you back here to the spotlight with me. And now I want just to go with you, Antonio, in some of the questions. So we have almost 20 questions here. And for example, let me start here. Tanja, how are you? Very good to see you again. So what are the latest AI tools you started using for project management that you would recommend? The obvious ones, ChatGPT, and I'm using a lot O3 on ChatGPT for reasoning, okay? For reasoning, trying to get some insights about, for example, the best way to craft the scope, not the WBS, but to craft the scope, functional scope of my project, objectives, trying to link objectives to value, I'm using O3. I'm also starting very heavily now on AI agents. It's to use agents to speed up the way I work. For example, when I need to collect, for example, the test I'm doing on Manus, it's to collecting different proposals. So I'm simulating different proposals from suppliers to deliver a piece of my project. And I want to understand on each proposal the benefits, to build a table, to decide and issue a contract to the winning company. To do that type of workflow, I'm using a little bit of Zapier, a little bit of Make and Manus. So just to give you an idea. So Tanja, I'm using this. Another tool that I'm using a lot now for presentations and mostly reporting is, God, I forgot the name. Gamma. Okay. Look, sorry. It's so many tools. Gamma. This I'm using a lot more than I used to use in the past. And also I'm using a lot Magic to-do list from Goblin Tools. That is the free to create WBS, and then I copy it to other tools. Okay, so these are mainly the tools I'm using, but I am surprised, and I need to be to share this with you. It's how good these foundation models are becoming, like ChatGPT, like Gemini, like NotebookLM that use Gemini. They are becoming unbeatable. Okay, they are becoming really, really a billion times better than they used to be 1 year ago. 1 year. And I invited you, I will echo what Antonio said, finishing this call. Think about the work you need to do today, this Friday. What do you need to do? Think about what you can use AI to do it. Today, just think about today. Try to do it. Try. Go on ChatGPT, if it's not confidential, of course, and this. Try to see if ChatGPT can do that, or Gemini or Claude. Try. Get experience with that. Antonio, do you want to take some?
Yeah, of course, Tanya. I of course, what Ricardo does is amazing. My focus has been, I want to master one of the tools, and I'm focusing on ChatGPT. It could be any of the others, but I think we just scratched the surface on prompting. Prompting is already old. Imagine prompting is just basic, but we can go beyond. We can go into agent. We can do into steps thinking and step actions. We can do into coding. So I think, Tanya, I would recommend to explore some of the tool. Of course, what Ricardo said, Gamma is amazing, and Notebook is perfect. These are great tools for us project managers. And then I would deep dive on one of the tools, because if you try to keep pace with all the tools that are available, it will be like more than a full-time job for you. And we don't have that time, right? It's just impossible. So I think try to get deeper into understanding how these machines can make your life easier, can remove all the boring work, and they get better, and create your own GPT. That's something that we teach in the master classes. How can you create your GPT? How can you use ChatGPT more advanced with simulations and predictions? And so keep it narrow, keep it something that you can master. 3 tools, 4 tools, that's it. And then focus on them. That would be my advice, building on Ricardo. Should we take the next question?
Yeah, one more. Yeah.
Susana, looking at ATOS. Yeah, we mentioned the tools. Susanta, Mario, good to see Mario. There's so many good friends here on the call. To improve stakeholder adaptability in change management post-AG economic. That's a good question. I think the challenge, and I always do that when I teach since a year to project managers, is that there's big disruption happening, and we are the profession that is most used into change. We see change as something positive, something we can thrive, but 80% of your colleagues at work, they're not used to change. They want to go back to normal. So I think we don't need to use only AI for change management and stakeholder adaptability. I think we need to use our human skills to get people on board, saying that change is good. Change is for the positive. It's never easy, but at the end you learn more. You have a lot of job satisfaction. So we become more ambassadors in this transformation that organizations are going from this more stable, operational driven world to this change and AI driven world. And I think this, we cannot delegate to AI for the time being. We need to be the ones driving. So it's very exciting times for us. We say that many times in the master class. I do that with my clients, is we have an opportunity to be the more impact we can have ever in the profession is now, it's this year. So it's an opportunity for us to step up. But great question. Thank you, Mario.
So let me take a couple of them. So Susanna, looking for AI tools which can help me to prepare my project Gantt chart, monitoring, controlling my project. To prepare our Gantt chart using a tool called Magic To Do. Magic To Do from Goblin Tools, okay? Goblin tools, okay? It's a free tool that you can do that. But for monitor and controlling, we still do not have one that is fully integrated, okay? Of course, some of them are excellent, but it's not yet. For example, there is no, I would say, a co-pilot solution that will monitor your project with AI. This will be the role of AI agents. So this is what I truly believe will be done by AI agents, when people will see on one side the results, and this will automatically update. But we still have some work to do on that. And this is also a great opportunity for some of you listening to this that are on this field to develop and explore this. And it's something that we are studying a lot on the Venture Lab too, okay? An anonymous question, can you remind me the name of the tool? The tool is here and it's recording, it's called Plaud, okay? Plaud, okay? So this is the device I'm using, and I will share with all of you this later, okay? Federico, about the Spain blackout, do you think that AI-driven monitoring system would manage to avoid actual crisis? My quick answer to you, Federico, is yes, but we still do not know what happened, okay? We don't know clearly what was the problem, okay? But I think that AI could help a lot to simulate potential future crises like this one, in order for us to prepare ourselves to build different paths for energy to flow, or to build more resilient business that could, I would say, last for more time without, for example, energy, okay? So this is something that we'll need to figure out on how do we mitigate these risks in the future. But we need to see at least the results, okay? And just to give you an idea, one of the first things I did was go to ChatGPT, and I asked ChatGPT, I told about the blackout, Antonio, and I asked it, okay, I work in projects that are mission critical. As a consultant. So what do I do to make sure that the impact of something like that will not be very dramatic to me? And this was one of the solutions ChatGPT gave to me. And then I told my setup, and ChatGPT calculated the size of the battery I should have at home. So this happened this week, okay? Let me take this last one here, and then I move to you. Okay, Joe. I read to the latest release of the PMI PMO practice guide, and I was surprised by the lightweight treatment on information on AI and PMO function. Has PMI got its head in the sand about AI? Joe, I'm sorry, I haven't read that, okay? I haven't read the report, so I have no opinion, okay, about that. But look, both Antonio and I, we're fellows of PMI, we're long. I'm sure that under the leadership of Pierre, people are taking care seriously of AI, okay? So I don't think it's this, maybe it's your perception, but honestly, I haven't read, okay? So I have no opinion about that because I truly don't know, okay? So Antonio, ball to you.
Yeah, sure. And good to see you, Joe, as well. So many good people. There was a comment question from Richard Anderson about the questions about the exam have changed. And Richard, we refreshed the questions, I think 3 months ago.
And we are working now on, on
yeah.
update. Yeah.
And they're basically, we cleaned all the tool related questions. We didn't want to, it's more focused on the key concepts, on the AI project management lifecycle, how AI works, how can you use it. So there has been a refresh, and we constantly refresh it. We also reduce a bit the score to pass. So yeah, it's still something you need to study, and you need to follow the master class or the material. But yeah, it's better now than we've learned with the feedback to improve it. Toran, what does it take to train? Toran, if we usually look for training organizations that are already established for the partnership, but write me and copy Ricardo, Toran, to share your thoughts and see if we can do something together.
Antonio, let me just interrupt you. Just let me repeat the question, because Toran asked, what does it take for trainers like me to use the course to train others and give them the certification? How does the partnership work? So just because Antonio gave the answer, but not everybody has the question.
Yes, sorry. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, Toran, write us and then we'll give you the feedback. Federico, thank you for sharing the article on The Guardian. Yes, the outage, it's a big one. Ana Fonseca, excited to explore AI's potential in project management. Yeah, we have like a website, PM AI. We can put it in the chart where you can find the topics of the master class and what we cover, Ana. So that's going to be there. I'll put that in the chat. How can we shift stakeholder value proposition from output delivered to experience orchestrated? Nice words, Anonymous there. Experience orchestrated. I would keep our language a bit more simple, but I think there's definitely a shift, and I propose that in HBR book, it's moving from outputs to benefits, and PMI has picked that up, and I'm glad that this is. I'm not saying the outcomes or outputs are bad, but we do projects for benefits, and it's just part of what we need to focus on. And yes, deliver on time, on budget is essential, but even more important is to deliver the benefits. And if we can do them faster, then you're the top project management in the company, for sure. So thank you for that anonymous question. And I'll take the last one. Can Jenna help a PM to create an entire schedule, oil and gas Gantt chart, and can try it, period? Yes, be careful with confidentiality data, but try that. If you have a question of whether ChatGPT can do that, go always to ChatGPT. One thing that I did lately with ChatGPT is I've been using it for 10, 16 months. I asked ChatGPT, what do you think about me? What are my strengths and my weaknesses? So it's not like a test, but the ChatGPT gets a feeling of how you are, and based on what you ask. So I would recommend everybody to go to ChatGPT and tell me feedback about me, right? And it's very interesting.
Yeah. So, Antonio, let me just step quickly here, because we still have some and we want to finish on time. So first, Priya, just to give you an idea, go on ChatGPT, create a project called Oil and Gas, and put on this project, of course, not confidential information, but put information about previous projects you did in oil and gas. So give this guidance from your company, from previous projects. For example, IPA, Independent Project Analysts, they have a huge database on front-ended loading that you can do. So you put there, and then you start building. So it will allow you to build like a RAG, like a personalized version of ChatGPT. So just use ChatGPT projects, okay? Jack, glad to see you. Do you use DeepSeek for project management purpose? Yes, I like very much DeepSeek. It's not the one I use most, but I love also to have different opinions on DeepSeek. So I use it for that, okay? One last question, Ioannis. Have you heard about AI Ninja Tools that offers a subscription model that includes DeepSeek, GPT, Claude, Gemini Pro, etc. Ioannis, I saw billions of tools like that. What they do, it's a shared link. Imagine that you are using a subscription and access to GPT, DeepSeek, shared with other people. So it's good that you pay less, but at the same time, you will not have the full power of controlling each of the versions. So Ioannis, in a very humble way, I would suggest, instead of you using this type of tool that consolidates everything, I would opt to one, okay? And then subscribe that one, because honestly, if you have a leading model, it will solve pretty much all your problems, okay? They are not very different. Just try take ChatGPT, the same question, Claude, and you will see that the result is not very different. This is my humble opinion, okay? Not saying you will agree with that. Antonio.
Thank you.
1 hour has come, okay? 1 hour, so thank you all very, very much. So see you in the first Friday of May. So just stay tuned here for our, invitation for you to benefit from the masterclass using the code disruption for the bundle, for the certification and the bundle. It's open now, and look, this helps us a lot to update the questions, to build the partnerships, and really to build something bigger. Okay. Thank you very much, Antonio. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
I know are holidays today, and all of you. Okay, I hope you had a great time in the Labor's Day yesterday. That is not in the US, but in other places. So I wish you all a wonderful weekend. Okay, and see you next month. Bye bye, Antonio.